Scott.
Hi.
Which movie do you constantly have to defend your hatred of?
Constantly, every single day. Well, I'm not going to lie. It's The Irishman.
Are you serious?
The longest.
With Bobby De Niro.
It's with Bobby De Niro. If it was with Bobby De Niro and he was remotely fun in it, maybe there'd be something remotely memorable to talk about afterwards. Instead, it was a horrible. How long is it? 4 hours? With some of the worst CG ever put to screen. Dude looks like Rey Mysterio at one point with his little dot eyes. Looks horrific. I just thought it was an absolute slog. And to be honest, I do obviously like the fact that Netflix were like, here's a blank check, go do whatever you want, Mr. Scorsese, go have fun with your old men and do whatever you want. But the thing that came out of that was just an absolute slog, and it probably is a meditation on whatever hokey shit you said, but it's not remotely what I'm going to watch and enjoy for 3.5 hours. And I ended up jumping through the last third of it because I was like, something's going to happen in this film.
The point there.
No, I've not. I had to jump through, and then he eventually dies in a room at the end, and so did I. I despise that thing, and it's that stupid fight scene at the beginning where it looks like a couple of puppets having to go to someone on the floor. Terrible. Just, I don't know why it was made other than for the literal sake of it.
Did you not think it was funny? Like in a good way?
Funny? No, what? What part of it was meant to be funny?
I thought it was really funny. No one else? No? No.
It's what? It's like a serious, wannabe serious, like mafia drama thing. Meditation on whatever you said.
It is. It's a 3-hour meditation on growing old and aging genres, but it's also about old people being piss funny with each other. Yo, Josh, you watched Father Ted, mate. Amy Hammer, which movie do you constantly have to defend hating?
Actually, almost as much as I hate the name that you just used. I hate The Shining.
The Shining? What? Pretty bad. A masterpiece.
No, I'm sorry. Like, don't get me wrong. I can appreciate that there are merits to the film. There's some nice shots. I probably would have enjoyed it more if I hadn't have known beforehand how badly they bullied Shelley Duvall on the set. Because I did just find that I was just quite angry about that throughout. Because whenever you see her and she's like really upset and everything, I was like, how much of that's real? How much of it's real? I just remember finding it really not that engaging. I didn't find it scary. I found that a lot of the scripting was kind of like pretentious. I don't know. And I think it might come down to sometimes Kubrick just isn't for me. But it seems like The Shining is the kind of movie where if you say you didn't like it, everyone's like, oh no, but it's a masterpiece. Oh, it's the best horror film ever made. I'm like,
it's a masterpiece.
Leave
It's
me
the best
alone.
horror film ever made.
No. It's perfectly okay. And you know what? Josh Brown, I preferred Dr. Sleep.
Oh, what? Get off. Call an ambulance.
Well, it's less a movie, more an entire goddamn franchise.
You
It's
can't
Lord
do
of the
this again.
Rings. Fucking sucks.
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, come on, neckbeards, let's have it out then. Look, I get it, it's good and all that, but they do so much pissing, walking through New Zealand. Get on with it. Chuck it in the fire. What are you messing about for 3 films? Peter Jackson, let's have a look at this. There's some good, I will admit, there's some good bits where they'll have like a bit of fighting and Gandalf's magic. But, oh my God, it takes up. I googled this. The extended edition is like, what, 11 hours? You probably know this. 11 hours, 30 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what you could do? Add an extra hour to that. You can watch the entire Mission Impossible franchise, and you'll actually have a good time watching it. Why don't they get on one of those birds that are in the Hobbit and just fly there? Waste of my time. Honestly, I will never get that time back.
Josh Brown,
Hi.
what is the movie that you have to constantly defend hating?
Well, of course, it's Ridley Scott's Sword and Sandals epic Gladiator.
What?
Are
you not entertained? Top 5 of all time.
Hey, I just think it's a little old hat is all I want to say. Just a little
Oh, he's
bit.
wearing a hat.
Just a little bit old. I'm wearing 2 hats. That's how old hat it is. Take this. My old man is to blame for this because when I was growing up, like my dad watched parts of Gladiator over and over again. So I'd seen bits of it and I'd grown up as Gladiator being like one of the defining movies of the whole canon. You know, it was like, you gotta watch Gladiator. It's like amazing. It's so quotable. It's great. And I didn't get around to watching it for a long time until I bought it on Blu-ray in the final Blockbuster sale ever before it completely closed down. And I got home, I had it in my hand, and I was like, ooh, this is gonna be so good. It's gonna live up to all of this hype. And then it was just a Swords and Sandals film, wasn't it? And it was okay. Russell Crowe was all right, and it was just not for me. And I realized.
He got an Oscar for that.
But like so
Probably.
many people have. Did he though?
I don't know. I just said it. You believed it, though.
I did. I would believe it because it did do well at the Oscars. You know, people do love it. It's in so many of our own top 10 lists ever. And I prefer the sequel. I want to see the Mad Nick Cave sequel where, like, Russell Crowe comes back to life and he goes and fights all of the gods and stuff. That sounds to me more interesting. My favorite thing of Gladiator is Joaquin Phoenix because he might as well be in a different movie. And he goes against Russell Crowe's energy, who is just kind of like angry, shouty man in the pub, which is, I like angry, shouty men in the pub, but I need a bit more from me Swords and Sandals epics. And it's me dad's fault for hyping it up so much. Maybe if I didn't have that, it might be okay, but a bit hold that.
Well, what is it about these specific scenes?
My dad. Here we go.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's rewind back to the mid-1980s.
Here we go. Let's not.
Okay, skip the end. Watchmen is
What?
Yeah.
Watchmen?
Watchmen.
Zack Snyder's Watchmen?
Zack Snyder's Watchmen. So, how do you say that? Because Watchmen, one of the greatest graphic novels of all time, was then made into a film, which is just the novel, shot for shot, frame for frame, word for word. How's it so bad? Because Zack Snyder does not understand a single little bit of nuance that's on that page. So every conscious decision that Zack Snyder makes in this film that is a deviation from the book hurts it massively. An example being that every single fight scene manages to get drawn out from just a few quick frames in the comics, because that wasn't really what it was about, to these huge, overlong, glossy, slow-mo saturated, dull fight scenes. And it's similar with the sex scene in the Owl Copter. The Owl Copter, is that what it's called? Who knows? And, you know, in the comic, it's just like, okay, yeah, we get the idea. He got his mojo back and they shagged in the Owl Copter. And it's like a 3.5 minute, like, softcore porn shoot set to Leonard Cohen.
Yes.
Leonard Cohen, hallelujah. Zack Snyder's just not a man to hire if you want something that actually has any substance to it.
Which movie do you always have to defend hating?
Just like any Disney film. Not like, no, I know they own like every other film, but like, you know, like classic conventional like Disneyland
You hate
movies.
songs, don't you?
I just hate singing in movies, and you meet an adult Disney fan, one of these enormous babies, and you say, oh, just like, oh, what do you want to watch? Do you want to watch Beauty and the Beast? Like, no, I'm 35, of course I don't. It's got like the little green triangle U on the DVD, but it's not for you, right? It's for bands. And you say like, oh, I'm not really into that. It's just a load of rubbish. It's a kids' film. And they look at you like you've mugged them. Like they unhinge their jaw, don't they? Like, but it's a classic. It's like, when you're 5.
Do you not like a single one?
Some of them, Robin Hood with Fox, good crack, yeah, really good crack, good that. Don't hate that one. Aristocat, good laugh. Is Five Goes West a Disney film? It feels like it. Rescue was Down Under, good. It's not like this entire genre's dead to me or anything. It's just like, just these weird. I know what I want to call them. I'm not saying it on camera.
You know, the argument against this is why can't people enjoy things?
No, it doesn't bother me that these people like these things, right? It's their reaction when you tell them that you don't. Why can't people like things, Amy? Great question. Why can't I hate them?
Well, you need to stop going to Disneyland then.
No! The fries are super salty.